Our top focus as of now, tensions simmer between China and the United States as the latter continues to send its dignitaries to Taiwan. Defying an angry Beijing and adding fuel to the fire is the latest visit by Marsha Blackburn, a U.S. lawmaker on the Senate Commerce and Armed Services Committee. The Republican from Tennessee met the Taiwanese President ing-wen today, and according to Taiwan's foreign ministry, the two were to review Taiwan-U.S. security, economic and trade relations.
In recent times, many public figures from broad spectrum have visited Taiwan. These acts of kindness and firm demonstrations of support have again reinforced Taiwan's determination to defend itself. Lately, there had been major shifts in the global landscape. Russia invaded Ukraine and China continued to conduct prolonged military exercises. These developments show how authoritarian countries are disrupting and threatening the world order.
Blackburn landed in Taipei on a U.S. military aircraft yesterday. Her arrival marks the third visit by a U.S. dignitary this month. During talks with the Taiwan President, Blackburn vowed support for Taiwan as an independent nation.
You are so accurate when you mention the shared values that we have, loving freedom, loving democracy. And it is important indeed that freedom-loving nations support Taiwan as they seek to preserve their independence and their freedom.
Reacting to the latest visit, China warned of resolute countermeasures to the alleged U.S. provocations. China also accused the U.S. of disrupting stability across the Taiwan Strait.
To engage in separatist activities will only push Taiwan into the abyss of disaster and will only bring serious harm to the Taiwan people. We warn Democratic Progressive Party authorities and the separatist forces that if they are obsessed with relying on foreigners and continue the provocations without repenting or stopping, we will continue to speak with actions and resolutely take countermeasures.
China claims Taiwan as its own territory and has raised strong objections to delegations visiting Taipei in recent weeks. The U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit in early August infuriated China. Beijing responded with test launches of ballistic missiles over Taipei for the first time. Pelosi was followed around a week later by a group of 5 other U.S. lawmakers. China's military responded then by carrying out further exercises near Taiwan. Keeping the increasing Chinese aggression in view, Taiwan believes that China is trying to erase the median line, which is an imagined line running down the Taiwan Strait between Taiwan and China, and has been there for nearly 70 years. Beijing has never officially recognized this line, which was devised by a U.S. general in 1954, at the height of the Cold War hostility between Communist China and U.S.-backed Taiwan. However, the People's Liberation Army largely respected it, and now Taiwan is bracing for warships from China's Navy routinely pushing over the line, as part of the steps taken by an angry Beijing to protest U.S. delegations' visits. For more analysis, our correspondent Susan Tehrani now joins us live on this broadcast from New York with more details. Susan, thanks for joining us. Another U.S. dignitary has visited Taiwan following Nancy Pelosi's controversial visit. Are all these endless provocations from the U.S., what does it hope to achieve?
Yeah, it's interesting that what seemed to be really one-off freelance trip by Nancy Pelosi in the beginning of summer has really become a popular summer destination excursion by these senators and lawmakers from Capitol Hill, who, by the way, don't represent the Biden administration but are keen on visiting Taiwan one after the other, the latest being Marsha Blackburn. She says that her meeting would focus on manufacturing and supply chain issues in addition to solidifying, quote-unquote, U.S.-Taiwan relations, and, you know, that the United States will not be bullied into taking any marching orders, so to say, from Xi Jinping and Beijing on what delegations should travel to Taiwan or not, since this has happened before. But as you mentioned, considering the very sensitive situation in the region, one would wonder whether or not, these trips would kind of be reduced until cooler heads would prevail, and then perhaps continue as they had in the past. But it's important to note that Blackburn, her position is very significant. She's always been a China hawk. She referred also in a recent interview to the Taiwan Democracy Defend Lend Lease Act. She's one of the senators who introduced this bill in July, along with two other Republican senators. What this legislation supports is the United States partnering with Taiwan and authorizing a defense lend or lease program with the government of Taiwan. Apparently, putting this legislation forward wouldn't jeopardize the One China policy, but would also give arms to Taiwan as well. So this trip, perhaps by Blackburn alone, is more significant than the other trips by other lawmakers, excluding Pelosi.
Right, Susan, thanks so much for all those insights. Thanks for joining us on WION World is One at this hour. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.